I thought in this actual training, it would be really, really useful to get into the mindset a little bit of how actual sales agents operates. What are these guys and gals thinking about? What are these folks actually considering when they're going into the world of being commission-only sales reps? Okay, so I think the more that we can get in and step into their shoes as business owners, as marketing directors, managing directors, whatever your position within your business may be, the more you know about a commission-only sales rep, the more successful you're likely to be with that person. So typically, and this has been the case for all of the successful commission-only sales reps that we've had at Pearl Lemon over the last 14 to 15 months, they've come from a background of employment, and then they've chosen to take the entrepreneurial route and ultimately become self-employed because they like the idea of the freedom and flexibility that the role of a commission-only sales rep opens up to them. Okay, it's more advantageous than, of course, being in the 9 to 5. It is more tax efficient than being in a 9 to 5, and it offers them more freedom than being in a 9 to 5, and it gives them, with the right company, and you know, I hope that company's your business, it gives them the potential for returns that can be ultimately in excess of the returns that they're receiving right now. With that in mind, the second element of it is that these sales professionals are ultimately looking to build, probably for the most part, depending upon the volume of leads and the quality of leads that you can bring in, a diverse portfolio of products as well as services that they can work between and sell and deliver to. Okay, so you might be, you know, in a business, you know, I'll give an example of us at Pearl Lemon. You know, certainly when we started with Joe as well as Eon, you know, we had leads enough for this to be a position that between the both of them, they could probably juggle amongst 1 or 2 other businesses that they were working with. So Joe and Eon at any given time had probably 3 companies that they were working between. And if you imagine for the experienced sales professional, you know, both Joe and Ian have come from a background where they've done cold calls. They have, and by the way, you can, and I'll show you very quickly whilst we're here. If I go to YouTube, bear with moi. This is freedom, by the way. It blocks certain social media applications when you don't want to be on them, like now. It's a good way to keep productive. So just turned it off. But if you're curious as to who I'm referring to, Commission Crowd Reviews, we'll go there, and you'll find, well, you'll find my actual review here on Commission Crowd, as well as the interview that we had with Joe and myself. So, you know, you'll get a great sense of what's happening here. So what I wanted to say ultimately was that, you know, with Joe and Eon, when they both first started, and Joe was directly from Commission Crowd, Eon was already on Commission Crowd, but Joe said, I've got a friend who's also on Commission Crowd. Would you like me to introduce you to him? And you know, they had a portfolio of companies they were working with. And as your volume of leads hopefully increases steadily over time, you can become, you know, a commission closer's main gig. But this is ultimately what they're looking to do, and they're, you know, the long-term aim is to build a long-term relationship with your actual business. Okay, and certainly that's what I'm doing with Joe as well as with Eon. The idea, as is translating into reality, to build a long-term relationship with them. And this is, you know, ultimately what sales agents are ultimately looking for. Is I'm going into the self-employed entrepreneurial world now. What company can I align myself with that's clearly on a growth trajectory that will only increase over time, that would make sense commercially for me to ultimately work with? And as I said, you know, Eon was with us as of, I think, maybe around just over a year now. And his aim was to get to a place where it was 6,000 euros plus. We've done that within a year, 6,000 euros for the last month. And there will come a time where I'm able to send him 10,000 euros a month plus, because we're quite a young business as well. And it is the case, therefore, that, you know, sales agents want to get to a place where they can, over the long term, make 6 figures with a company, which is where a sales agent's mind is thinking, and why it's powerful for you to know as a company as you think about getting your next sales commission-only sales professional.